Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. I thought we'd go over a set of data mines from the last few days since there's a bunch of things going on when it comes to the game itself, obviously since pre-update Danger Zone. There is a bunch of data mines for update Danger Zone itself that I might go through in the future, but the thing is, the game has been in such flux over the last week. I feel like going over it is probably not that useful, because a bunch of the information already will probably be outdated, specifically stuff like the UI changes that they brought in, where they've already been reverted because they were bugged. So I'm hoping that as the dust clears when it comes to those things, then we can cover them. So right now I'm kind of leaving them be and then just only covering the stuff from the last few days. As always, thank you to Zabby for doing these data mines. I'll leave links in the description so you can see them all yourself. There will be some things that I miss out on just because I don't see them as pertinent as others, but as always, it is worth going over. Hopefully you've been enjoying the new update. I've had a few issues when it comes to graphical bugs in ground, but airplanes right now feel pretty nice. I've just been grinding out or respending a bunch of the American vehicles with obviously the firebombs or the napalm which is attached to them now. Anyway, let's get into the data mines. The first one is from 4 days ago from this point, and they fixed a few things about the Phantoms. One of the issues that it had was the cannon rotation animation was not working properly. It was basically spooling when it shouldn't have been spooling, so they fixed that now. They also changed the gears slightly, basically making it so they are not as, I suppose, useful. The sync rate multiplier was decreased, the brake sliding friction multiplier was also decreased, along with the wing gear wheel radius. So shouldn't have too much of a difference or make too much of a difference with them, but just slight changes here and there. When it comes to the F8C, they actually changed something on us. They fixed a bug which caused the air brake to not be blocked by ordnance. This is actually something that I kind of got used to on the MiG-21 SMT, where if you bring the countermeasures pod, you can't actually use the air brake. It requires a little bit of a difference in playstyle, but kind of interesting to see. The F104G for Germany, the bug which caused the disappearance of the LAU32 and AS20 mods, have been fixed as well, so you should be able to grind that out properly now. Then there was a bunch of changes to the engines of certain vehicles, such as the I-29. Now it has increased RPM in different modes. Same with the I-301, and also some changes to the temperatures on the engines themselves and the manifold pressure. The lag 3.1, lag 3.4, and the rest of the lag series also had changes, and also at the same time there was changes to the SBM 105 engine as well. So basically changing temperatures, changing manifold pressure, and also changing RPM on the engines. These should actually make them more powerful, but also at the same time a little bit more temperamental. So it should be quite nice to actually play in general. The MiG-27K, the targeting pod has been fixed. This might be true. I've still been hearing reports where it might be kind of screwed up. Basically, it wasn't really working properly. It wasn't really targeting as it should be, and this meant that air players in ground actually had to use their brain, which is not allowed at high tier when it comes to CAS. Whether you look at the K50, the K52, all of the different AH-1s, AH-64s which exist, sorry, all the Apaches, the UHT, the guided bombs, the guided missiles, the Mavericks, all of these things, the KH-29 series of missiles, thinking is not allowed. So it's nice to see that they fixed that stuff. The CAS is getting very annoying when it comes to ground now at high tiers, especially after the missile changes to make them more realistic. It is a lot harder to counter them, especially if you're playing a nation which does not have access to relevant AA to do so, e.g. China. Hopefully this gets fixed soon. With the Mosquito, FB Mark 6, and also the F-84G for France, the unused rocket pylons are hidden in non-rocket loadouts now, and also the Milan, you can give it a user skin, which is quite good. They also changed the ZTZ-96, where they removed a second layer of the turret composite, 80mm, so that thing won't be as strong anymore, which kind of sucks. They also added the Danger Zone trophy skins as well, which is quite nice. They changed some translation stuff when it comes to Chinese. They also changed some AI engine sounds. So I'm hoping that they do make engine sounds a little bit louder compared to some of the other sounds in ground. I feel like the engine sounds are a little bit more muffled, or you only hear them when they're about a K or maybe 1.5K away. And the problem with doing this is it's very hard at the higher levels to react to people if you don't see them. And as somebody with terrible eyes, it would be quite nice if that's fixed. The Abandoned Town and Spaceport, the domination points have been changed from DEF to ABC, so no longer capture the D point, as usual. They also added the new vehicle tag to the Lim 5P, because that was just forgotten for some reason. By the way, completed the Lim 5P today. Fantastic vehicle. Feels really nice to use. Only issue is the guns, and obviously slight compression at high speeds when it comes to the roll rate and also the elevator. That's fine. You can work around that. I think I went about 60 and 7 or 60 and 8 in it. It was really nice. They changed the Mirage F1 CT skin. The Normandy Naaman one now has a little bit less wear on it, so it looks nicer. And the John Laverack avatar description, they actually changed it. Now it's Lieutenant General Sir John Dudley Laverack was a veteran of 2 World Wars and Governor of the state of Queensland. During World War II, he commanded Australian units in North Africa against Rommel's army. I always like those little pieces of history in War Thunder. I hope they continue to do the History Pages events. I think they're fantastic. The Legends of History events are also super good, so really, really looking forward to more of them if they do them. They also gave Napalm bombs their own SB multipliers, with 200 plus kg bombs getting 1.03 and 2000 plus kg bombs at 1.1. A lot of people have asked me my opinion about napalm bombs. I think they're completely useless at the moment. There is no reason to take them over the standard bombs, which can just kill people. The only reason to take something like a napalm bomb is if they increase its duration. Basically, if they increase the time it's on the ground, therefore it can melt tracks or melt wheels or destroy open top stuff, creating a zone of denial. But right now, it doesn't last long enough to do that. They also changed the wind effect parameter from a particle force multiplier of 100 to 18, so quite a big change there. It's going to have quite a large effect on many different things. The Key 61, they changed the wing gears on it, and also Naval EC for Denmark. They've supposedly changed it from 86 by 86 to 131 to 131 kilometers. We'll have to see if that's the case or not, because they did say that they were having technical issues going above 128 by 128, so maybe they'll fix them. Who knows? We'll have to find out. The carriers and spawns have also been moved to accommodate for this, and there was also some Xbox multiplayer code changes, so hopefully that doesn't mean too many issues. They also changed some CDK stuff, basically a bunch of different vehicles which are already in the game, such as the U1, the Act-28B, the B3C. So we're going to have to see what that means. Maybe they're getting updated textures or something. The new loading screen button texts, now you have track progress and untracked progress, which is quite interesting, mainly because of the fact that the F-14 now has a loading screen, which if you play, I believe, 100 battles in the game, what ends up happening is you unlock the loading screen, which is why I'm personally grinding it, so we're going to have to see how it goes. They've also added a bunch of new hitcam text. These are for naval, so stuff like armor plate destroyed, compartment destroyed, stuff like that. I would say I really like the new hitcam changes. The only thing I would say about naval is I would prefer it to not zoom in, because the problem is if you're firing multiple shots at once, zooming in doesn't really work because it kind of just zooms in over and over and over again and gets kind of confused. So it would be nice if that is a bit better. They also changed some shadow parameters, basically making it that on low graphics settings, you can't just make them fully disappear, which is quite good. And the Hurricane Mark IIB and P-51s, the rocket pylons are now hidden in the non-rocket loadouts. Hopefully they fix that on another vehicle. The Corsair has actually this problem as well, the F4U1C, I believe, where you only see half the rocket loads, but there's no rockets on them. They're just stuck there. So hopefully that gets fixed as well. The Certain launchers on Soviet helicopters now have weight and drag, so they'll actually be affected by this. This is very good. Also, the S8KO launchers weight and drag has been lowered to the same values of the others for the K-52, Mi-28, and Mi-35. The K-52 now has a different name for its IRCM. I'm sure it won't change it that much. The M4A4, it has a floating invisible unusable roof MG, which was removed from the DM. So I don't know whether this is for the Chinese one, for example, because obviously the premium has the 50 cal and the standard Tech Tree one doesn't, technically showing it to be pay to win. The Challenger 1, the last layer of turret composite, they buffed, so it actually should defend a bit better, which is nice. They've done some stat card changes for the M36, but nothing too crazy. And the Baltimore, the Kingfisher that you find on it, now actually has bombs, which is nice. They also standardized a few things. Basically, all planes and helicopter loadouts now use the SP cost system, even for the custom loadouts, so everything is now on the same page. The ground AB bombers now have a 5-second fuse fixed. It was there before, but now it actually works properly, which is good. And also, the Firecrest, they fixed the rocket bug on it as well. That has been plaguing a bunch of other mid-tier vehicles. Also, the new aircraft hood has been turned on, but it's restricted to the devs. So they're obviously testing it. The whatever bug caused the coal problem, I'm sure they'll fix pretty soon. And also, Steam Rate the Game pop-up parameters have been changed to minimum PvP battles, minimum place to win, and wins in a row. The Danger Zone trophy also will soon be available for exchange on consoles. I believe they had a bug with one of the old boxes that they probably don't want to replicate again, which is the one where basically they didn't apply rarities to different skins, so you could even get like the most basic skins and replace them with vehicles, which was kind of ridiculous, but I'm pretty sure they've changed that now. Then the BR changes, so the 3RO, the Lancia, the 117 is going in AB 1.7 to 2.0, and the BTR ZD is going in RB and SB to 4.3 to 4.7. So it's going up in BR, the BTR. Not a surprise. It's a pretty potent vehicle, very mobile, and pretty good at taking out planes. It kind of reminds me of the ZSD 63 with the Chinese, where it went up in BR pretty quickly. I just hope that when it comes to AAs, they don't put them up in BR too much, especially because one of the issues for the Soviets is because, well, that area is not the greatest for AAs. You know, it's basically got the BTR ZD and that's it. So hopefully they don't go crazy with it. Hopefully they just chill with it and leave it where it is. And, you know, don't put it up too much. I understand that people are using it as kind of a pseudo tank killer, but it's kind of got the same thing going on it as the R3. If people don't recognize where it is, then yes, it can be quite potent, but if people do recognize where it is, it can literally be machine gunned to death. They've also changed a tank battle benchmark. They changed the time and weather on it, and the 14-inch 45 Mark 8s, the Mark 8 APC-BC tracer has been changed to a naval one, so it should make more sense now. So overall, some pretty cool data mines. There's still a bunch of bugs in this patch. Hopefully they get fixed over the next few days. I'm sure the developers are working on getting everything sorted. And a lot of people have been asking me about sales and stuff when it comes to War Thunder. Usually the next set is in about a week or so. But don't worry, I'll cover them when they come out and we'll have a look what's available. As always, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. I'd just like to thank Nicholas Richardson, Elove Goat, Pyman675, Winter Scientist, Merciless Reaper, Jerry Prevolt, Megadino King, Orange Tail, Teddy, John Ryman, Universe, Ambrosius McClellan, Daniel Stanton, Moxie, B. Young, Uncle Bean, Sem Arslan, Derek R., Bareen, Lafouche, and Samuel Slick for supporting the channel.